First and foremost, as we get going this week, we want to say thank you and welcome to each and every one of you that are listening to us in podcast format on whatever podcast app you have. And a big thank you to those that are watching us weekly, whether it is on Twitch, YouTube, and now on Facebook. Yes, we rebranded one of our pages, and it is now a Turnbuckle Studios page. I am Carl Carafel. I'm here with Chris Best and maybe OMD. He is still going through his issues. I don't know if it's browser or what it is, but he seems to be the only one lately that's been having these types of issues when it comes to the audio and video side of things.
Yeah,
But gentlemen, it is good to be here. How are you both doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm not feeling the greatest today. And it's just sort of hit towards the end of the workday. I actually had to turn the heat up in my apartment today for the first time this fall.
Interesting.
So just got to wait and see how I feel tomorrow.
And I'm doing fantastic. My Rogue Energy order came in. And yes, I did use the promo code PARISH, which saves us 10% on any of your Rogue orders. I got myself the 25-ounce Spartan Shaker Cup starter pack. Okay. And it's done nothing but wonders for me. It actually makes my drinks last longer than the 16-ounce cup that I used to have.
Nice.
But yeah, I've had a wonderful day today.
Excellent.
Good. I spent my day just like OMD at work, came home, had a quick bite, and now we are here. We got quite a few different pieces of news to go through here. Yes, we're going to talk about the biggest piece of news that came out of Monday Night Raw yesterday, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I think one of the things that I want to touch on first is a female that has been within the professional wrestling scene for a very long time, made her way out, made her way to different companies, has worked for a bunch of the top companies, and is now back with TNA. Mr. Best, you brought this to us, and before we get to that, I just want to say, Ezekiel 1020, thank you so much for coming by and showing your support. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. No, this one kind of came out of nowhere because, as you said, Carl, she got out of the wrestling business. She fell into the where are they now kind of file as far as pro wrestling goes, right? And of course, I'm talking about Christy Hemme coming back to TNA. And I'm happy for this because I absolutely love Christy. Had a massive crush on her. But that's neither here nor there. But she is back, and she's actually taking up on a role that she actually went to college for before wrestling, by the way. She is heading up she is now going to be joining TNA Wrestling as the head of marketing. So she's going to be in charge and helping promoting events, promoting, the video games, toys, merchandise, all that kind of thing. She previously did work in creative with TNA and had a number of strong connections to the company, which, I mean, she was, after she left the WWE, she became a TNA lifer, essentially.
Yeah.
A source stated that the report also stated that Sami Callihan will be working in the live events department as well alongside her. But yeah, like I'm just I'm excited for this. I'm happy for her and that she's gotten back. She's gone back into the wrestling business. TNA has their own Hall of Fame, and one of my thoughts on this is why not put her in that too? She's done a lot for TNA, and she's one of those she's one of those unspoken heroes of TNA as I look at it.
I fully agree with that sentiment. I think that Christy Hemme has done so much in the world of professional wrestling, not only just for the WWE or for TNA, but she's done just so much. And I think it would definitely be fitting for her to get into that type of a Hall of Fame when it comes to TNA. Basser, good to see you in here, my friend. It has been a while, but we appreciate you. You have heard correctly, and we're going to be talking about that a little later on in the show for sure.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a part of the oh my god, the main event segment of the show. I forgot what we called it.
Showstopper segment.
Thank you, Carl. It's one of those days for my brain,
Yeah, I understand. OMD, what are your thoughts on Christy Hemme getting into the not the Hall of Fame, but getting back into TNA in a backstage role, which I think, again, is fantastic for her. I absolutely love it. So what are your thoughts on that? Bobby, good to see you. Thank you for coming in, Mr. Bobby Munson, one of the video bros. Doing well. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Bobby, for showing up. I am excited to see Christy Hemme back. I'm going to be honest with you. I think her TNA run was far more fruitful for her career than she ever did in WWE. And I mean, that was just that time and that place where the women weren't given the opportunity to showcase.
Right.
So the fact that she is able to go back to a place that really treated her like family, gave her a true home.
Right.
It's fantastic. I am excited to see what she can bring, not just to the marketing, but are they going to put her into an on-screen role? Does she become an assistant to Santino? Does she become a backstage interviewer like she's done in the past? Or do we just see Christy Hemme and we know that she's there?
I think honestly we're just going to know that Christy Hemme is there, and for now we're not really going to see her on screen. Now, could that come with time? Sure, but I don't think it's going to be right away.
Yeah, this is kind of like I kind of look at it as like Christy's just kind of dipping her toe in the ocean before diving in. You know what I mean?
Because I know like another name that, and I don't even know if he's still there working behind the scenes anymore, is Josh Matthews, who had gone on to have a successful ring announcing career with TNA. And he was vice president, I believe, of digital marketing at one time. But I don't know if he is still with TNA.
Right.
Because, again, you just don't hear about them. Bobby, good to see you.
Bobby
Betito, Bobby Stats. He is here in the house with us again. Very much appreciative of you. Christy Hemme, though, is absolutely fantastic, and I love that she is getting a little bit more recognition. And for me, honestly, okay, so if you are asked to be part of backstage within the company or part of management or whatever, in that type of a role, I think that really is a testament to you, showing that they really trust you.
Yeah.
If I were running a company, I wouldn't just be hiring somebody willy-nilly and going, maybe we'll see what happens here, right? Like, no, I'm going to do my research and I'm going to find out, and I'm going to find these people that are good fits for the company and its future, especially right now with TNA. TNA, I don't think is ever going to die. as many times as people thought that it was going to. It still hasn't. So I think it's only going to continue to grow and succeed. And I think if Christy Hemme being there, maybe helping out with, as she is with the marketing side of things, we could be able to see some more merchandise, stuff like that coming out, and maybe start to see a pop culture movement for TNA wrestling.
Yes.
And that's exactly what TNA needs to just get that extra step forward, as it were, you know?
Yes. She is a woman that I have actually had the pleasure of meeting. And she is just a fantastic, down-to-earth person. And I mean, really, she elevated a lot of careers in TNA where other companies have let those characters and whatever they're doing sort of fizzle out or get lost. And I'm going to look at a guy like Lance Archer back when he was the ticked off Texan Lance Hoyt and doing the Rock and Rave Connection. Now you're looking at
Infection.
Now you're looking at him lost in the shuffle in AEW. WWE completely fumbled the ball with him.
Yeah.
So I want to see Christy Hemme do for all of TNA now what she was able to do for even just the individual wrestlers or tag teams as they were.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think I can safely say right now that Christy Hemme will not be any type of on-screen personality. It's coming out that she is with the company once again, but taking a look at their roster page, which TNA has been very, very good at updating their website, unlike myself, and updating our website. I am not very good at doing that, but they do have Santino on here. He's an on-screen character, but Christy is not. Then that may change.
Right.
But as of right now, I can't see that being a situation where she is an on-screen character.
Right.
Yeah. Christy Hemme, good for you. We are very happy about that. Mr. Best, what other type of news do you have for us?
Let me see here. Well, since it's on the air right now, why don't we talk a little bit about NXT, an announcement that they made last night, and it's actually an announcement that OMD told me on Friday was going to happen, and that's NXT is going to be taking over. See where I went there? The 2300 Arena. The 2300 Arena, as we know, is the home to most MLW shows. It's also been the home of ECW, the home of CZW, and I think ROH for a time had that place as one of their homes as well.
Well, they definitely went there.
Yeah. I'm actually all weekend when OMD had told me about this, I was bouncing back and forth about this because I'm like, and I want your guys' opinions on this too. Is this WWE taking over taking over MLW's home? You know how they used to do in the 80s when they would come into somebody else's territory? Or is this WWE maybe honoring the history that the 2300 Arena presents? You know, like the Sportatorium, Madison Square Garden, the Omni in Atlanta, the Cow Palace in San Francisco. Do you think what do you guys think of this, them coming into this arena to do this show?
I think that's exactly it. I think it's just an honor that it's happening and that they're doing it there. They're not doing it to step on toes. I don't think that the WWE wants to be stepping on toes right now. They do have a good relationship with other companies.
Well,
and
see, that's
they're
what
trying
I
to
was.
build that, right?
That's
So
yeah, that's why I was wondering, because the relationship between MLW and WWE is not exactly the best right now. You know.
Right.
right, but maybe this is a way to try to, um, how do I say this? Maybe this is a way to kind of say, hey, we're going to come into this arena. We're going to put a shine back onto the 2300 arena,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you guys can benefit from this.
Right.
And maybe trying to mend some fences per se. Bobby Munson, you would probably know a little bit more and have more insight on that. I know that you are a huge residence for MLW. Yeah, like he's saying, they're not with MLW. They don't. They don't have a good relationship with them, and you're right. And I wonder if this is maybe a way for them to try to get past these differences and maybe help out,
to mend the fences, as it were.
Yeah. I mean, I could be totally wrong on this, but I think it would be a good idea for them to maybe swing something that way. Bobby Munson saying the arena can be used by anyone, but Court Bauer will take it personally. Just watch.
And see, that's again, Bobby, that's what came across my mind, because kind of in listening to, I used to listen to Court Bauer's podcast. He used to have a podcast that aired up here in Canada many years ago.
Yes.
He took a lot of things personally on the show. So that's why I thought of that,
Yeah. Again, I'm thinking that this is, again, just a way to honor the legacy of the 2300 arena. Bobby Stats posting in there that TNA uses it as well, and they do use it quite regularly. Not to mention the history that Paul Heyman has with the arena.
Yeah, true. Very, very true.
So I think you've got the TNA influence, you've got the Paul Heyman influence. And let's not forget that this show is actually coming to us on a Wednesday night.
Yes,
November
it is.
6th.
Yeah.
It's not coming on the Tuesday night. And that's because WWE does not want to compete with election coverage on the Tuesday.
Which is understandable.
Makes sense. Makes sense to do so.
It does. Yeah. Do I hope we maybe get some ECW cameos? Sure. Do I want a ton of oversaturation of ECW? No.
And unfortunately, I think that we probably will get that, considering, right, that it is the WWE that is there. Even though it's NXT, it's still the WWE. It's just another brand. And ECW, well, WWE owns ECW now as well. So I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of references to the 2300 arena and ECW while that broadcast is going on, probably to the point where we may even see NXT competitors paying homage to former ECW stars.
Right.
Well, I think we just got the answer on NXT just now, because they did promote the event at the 2300 arena just now. And they showcased a lot of ECW history with that arena in that video.
Bobby Batista, yes, I think that they may use RVD for some sort of appearance on that NXT broadcast. Bobby Munson, the only homage they should do is a quick video package and then have Heyman cut a promo off the start of the show. And then it should be business as usual. No need to take too much away from the current generation. I agree. I don't 100%. Think that they should be making this an ECW tribute. I think that they should be making this a ECW started here and grew to what it was, to the point where the WWE decided to buy them. And now NXT learned from this type of thing, right? and then allow them to build themselves.
Yeah. And I don't want to see it be like an NXT Extreme Rules night or NXT One Night Stand or anything like that. Just
you could do like one match on the show that might have some sort of ECW type of implication in there. Maybe like have the main event as an Extreme Rules match or something like that.
right.
As long as
But
kendo
again-
sticks are involved, I'll be happy.
Yeah, like I said, we don't need a ton of oversaturation of ECW in there, but you know, just that little homage would be perfect. I am 100% behind Bobby Munson's idea. That is brilliant. And
Yeah, I
leave it
think so
there.
as well. I think it was that was a very, very good suggestion that I think should be done. Video package is all that is needed. That's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we talk
100%
about-
agree.
yeah, we talk about video packages. They are a great way to hype things up. And one of the biggest hypes right now is a video package that was done for the Motor City Machine Guns. Dude, when I saw this video package for Sabin and Shelley, showing us a little bit of what they have done in places like New Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact TNA, they have worked with Nick Aldis in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Aldis knows them, knows who they are. They are on SmackDown. Yes, you heard that correct. The Motor City Machine Guns have signed SmackDown contracts. What?
Yeah, and I will never forget this, and I'm pretty sure OMD and Parrish will remember. But do you guys remember on Friday when I said, how surreal is this, just looking at Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin in a WWE ring?
Right?
It just, and I know Alex Shelley wrestled before in the WWE as part of the Cruiserweight Classic some years ago.
Yeah.
And it even felt surreal then. But it's
Yep.
just even more surreal now that he's got a full-time contract and we're going to be seeing him and Sabin on a weekly basis. I am so pumped for these guys. It is unbelievable. I love what they've already done with them by putting them in that tag team tournament that they're doing on SmackDown as well. And they've already put the tag teams on the SmackDown roster on notice.
Yeah. This is fantastic, and it's just an overall testament to what TNA has truly delivered over the years. I mean, if you look at the SmackDown roster, Nick Aldis, AJ Styles, you've got the Motor City Machine Guns, and those are just the active ones. Let's not forget, you've got Jeremy Borash, who is in the front office of WWE. You've got Abyss, Chris Park, who is a writer and producer. Bobby Roode, who is a writer and producer. Petey Williams, who is a producer and agent.
And let's not forget some of the wrestlers from TNA who are over on Raw, i.e. one of the wrestlers who's involved in one of the bigger angles on Raw, Xavier Woods.
Yep. So I am excited to see, and again, this is revamping the tag division. And I know, Carl, you and I are both huge fans of tag team wrestling, even to a point where sometimes it is better than a singles match.
Dude,
Sometimes
when
it
I
is.
was a wrestler, tag team wrestling was my bread and butter.
So you look at this, and they are revamped the tag division with one team.
Yeah.
With one
Right.
team. And initially, you know, we had the Motor City Machine Guns. We had heard the reports they're going to NXT. Now, we know they got moved up to the main roster because of another situation, supposedly. So, but you still revamped a tag division.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is absolutely fantastic for the tag team division in the WWE. We know that the WWE always does a draft at some points throughout the year. So there's no reason why we can't have the Motor City Machine Guns kicking ass, taking names, and showing people what tag team wrestling is all about on SmackDown before going over and being traded to Raw to show everyone over there what they can do as well. And not saying that people wouldn't know. I mean, lots of people that watch the WWE are watching both Raw and SmackDown. But with this change that's coming in January, with Raw going to Netflix, this could be a way for them to build those Netflix numbers as well. If you're showcasing Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns, and then having them traded over to Raw, which will make people want to go and watch them on Raw to see what they can do.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know what? And I know that I've said this about AEW, and I've always said I hope they don't hotshot this wrestler and give us a bunch of dream matches within 6 months. I know they're only 2 weeks into their career, but this Friday I'm already getting a dream match that I want, and that's the Motor City Machine Guns taking on DIY in the tag team finals this week. I am looking forward to that match so badly. I want it to be Friday night right now, you know?
Right. And I mean, let's not forget, I do believe we have actually seen the Motor City Machine Guns. It might have been the Time Splitters versus, at the time, the Gorillas of Destiny in New Japan. Now we're just referring to them as Tamatonga and Tongaloa.
Right. I believe it was the Time Splitters at that time. Because I think I know which match you're talking about.
Could be. Could very well be. All I know is that this is fantastic for the division. And for myself, absolutely love the use of video packages, and the hype that is coming from these video packages has been on point for sure as of late. Bobby Munson is saying they should let those two teams have some time and a good spot. Go for the wrestling match on that one and make it special. Yes,
100%.
that is exactly what it needs to be.
25 to half an hour or even 20 minutes, I'd be okay with, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, as long as they allow them to wrestle and showcase what they can do. I don't want that there is any type of shenanigans or any type of bullshit that comes around with this. I want to see these two teams putting on a tag team clinic like I know both of these teams can do. And as long as we get that, satisfaction will be guaranteed. Yeah. Bobby Petito, you're right. At some point, I'm sure we're going to get this match, Motor City Machine Guns versus the Street Profits. It's going to be fantastic as well. I know that we definitely will be getting that at some point. Mr. Best, do you have another piece of news?
Yeah, I do have another piece of news, and it takes us once again up north to one Scott D'Amore. I know I've been reporting a lot on him lately, but I've actually been really high on his work a lot lately, as we all really should be. So after this weekend, I didn't get it. I still haven't had a chance to watch the pay-per-view, but I've heard nothing but good stuff and heard it was a massive success. He spoke to Steven Muehlhausen of Sports Illustrated ahead of the 2-day Forged an Excellent event in Windsor, Ontario. The former TNA wrestling president said that this weekend's show would serve as proof of concept. He confirmed that 2025 would see Maple Leaf Pro move beyond Windsor and that he wanted to grow the key Toronto market. He's looking to expand Maple Leaf Pro internationally. He's looking to make Maple Leaf Pro a worldwide product. He's going to start off here in Ontario. He's got contacts outside of Ontario as well that he's going to be talking to.
You're right.
And this just makes me even more excited because maybe, just maybe, fingers crossed, he brings the show here.
I agree. That would be beautiful if Mr. D'Amour were to travel and bring it to our city. There are a lot of companies that are in Ontario. There's a lot of wrestling companies, independent wrestling companies that are in Canada. And as long as we can have Mr. D'Amour working with the promoters that are in those areas, I think it would be great to do that.
Yes, that's I was going to say, like, if he were to come up here, reach out to some of our local boys like Matt Powers, Diego Da Vinci, Vinny Da Vinci, get them on the show. Even get, the three of us, we're from the Sioux, get us involved in some way. Just putting that out there for the three of us,
Oh yeah. I like Bobby Munson's thinking here, and I'm on point with that as well. Doesn't need to be international just yet.
Yeah.
He does need to just, pump the brakes a bit. Slow and steady wins the race. Don't worry about international. Make it a popular brand here. Let word of mouth get out, then grow it to more markets at a slow pace. And I agree with that. I think that he should do the work that needs to be done in Southern Ontario first, then slowly branch out to the rest of Ontario. Then go to, the next couple of provinces over, whether that's Quebec, Manitoba, whichever way you want to go, or go both ways. It doesn't matter. But yeah, build it as a true Canadian branded company. We know that TNA is owned by a Canadian company, but it's not showcased as a Canadian company. And I think that it would be great if Mr. D'Amour did that. Branded it and brought it forth as a Canadian company and make it the Canadian company to then be able to put it out further.
Okay, now I do have to ask, because we know Scott D'Amour's track record with TNA. We know he has started Border City Wrestling. Now, does Border City Wrestling still exist?
I'm not sure if BCW still exists. I don't think it does.
Okay, because I was going to say, if you're going to, and I'm on point with Bobby's thinking to establish it as a Canadian brand. But if you want to look at the international, take that Border City concept and build Ontario and Michigan, where you have the Windsor, Detroit, us in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, Sarnia, Blue Water, to establish Ontario, and maybe that little bit into the upper part of the U.S.
I think that's exactly what Scott is trying to do here without the U.S. thing, because he said at least within the year of 2025 he is going to be building throughout Ontario. He's contacted people in BC and the Maritimes to do shows out there as well.
Okay.
So I think he is going to start off slow and just, build it here on a national level before expanding, to other countries.
Right.
And just an FYI, it appears that Border City Wrestling is still active.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm sure he's got contacts there where he could borrow wrestlers, for shows and whatnot.
Oh, of course. And there are some great competitors that are there right now, like Mike Rollins, Rohit Raju, RJ City. You have got Nate Matson.
RJ City.
Right? Nate Matson. He's there. Jake something, Joe Doring. Like these are names that are Cody Deaner, Giselle Shaw, right? Like these are names that are working on bigger companies, but still lend their hand to Border City. So no reason why you wouldn't be able to use some of those names as well, right?
Well, he just had some significant names with Forged in Excellence from TNA, from AEW, as well as former WWE.
No too many spoilers. Don't do too many spoilers. Not everybody's seen
I haven't even seen the show, but I'm going from when we ran down the card.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just going to put this out there. RJ City is just the coolest dude ever. I got to work with him on The Masked Saint, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was up here shooting, and that's how I learned who he was.
Nice.
Just by watching him wrestle and just learning who he was just by hanging out with him for a couple of hours,
Right.
Very, very cool. Very cool. I love being able to take a look at the past guests that have been within some of these companies here. And I'm seeing some old friends that are no longer with us in some of these names here. It's pretty cool. And if that is something that Scott D'Amore can continue to do, is to build a Canadian company. And thankfully, like you said, the report says that 2025 is going to be the time of building within Canada. So I am happy about that.
I'm kind of hoping that maybe we get some sort of Canadian TV deal of some kind. I know it'd be a bit of a stretch to maybe get on CTV or something for a weekly show, but you know what, Toronto, you can talk to the Fight Network about getting on TV there. Maybe
it's possible. It's possible. Time will tell. We will definitely have to see what happens with Maple Leaf Pro.
Well, if we're hoping that TSN maybe gets a new wrestling deal, depending on what happens with All Elite Wrestling come the new year, when everything for us moves to Netflix.
Right.
There's another possible avenue for Maple Leaf Pro.
Yeah, it's very true. No reason why it couldn't be. So Halloween is just around the corner. And if you want to fill your house with a little spookiness, now is the time to do so with the WWE shop. At least for us here in North America, we can get this. We are talking the Wyatt 6 replica lantern. So the lantern that you see, a replica of the lantern that you see weekly coming onto your screen, carried to the ring by Uncle Howdy, is available for you at a price of about $35 plus shipping. I love that they have brought this back, and especially just in time for Halloween. It actually has the Wyatt 6 logo on it. It looks pretty neat. I don't know like exactly what kind of materials it is or anything like that. I assume that it's just going to be like a plastic with like a painted finish on it, an on-off dial switch, that type of thing. Okay, so I was wrong. I'm looking at it right here. It says material is 100% metal with a painted bronze finish right from their website. So $35 is not a bad price if you want to pick one of those up. I think that that's just really, really cool that they've included that in some of the Wyatt 6 merchandise that's available.
Yeah, spending money that I don't have already, thinking about that because I wanted to get it the last time they had it out.
Right?
So what do you guys think about the merchandise when it
I
comes
wanna
to
put-
them doing little things like this, like the lantern or a mask or something like that? And I'm not just talking the Wyatt Six, I'm talking everybody. You got the wristbands and stuff like that. Are you guys okay with this, or would you rather it just be stuck to like give me t-shirts, sweaters, and hats?
Oh no,
You know what?
expand your repertoire, please, because when I think of
Yeah.
things like that, I especially the lantern, I'm thinking like how great would that look on a shelf behind me for set decoration or something like that. Pretty much
Right.
I'm thinking about like the kind of setup you have behind you, Carl.
Right.
That's what I think of it, and I'm like, I love it.
I mean, I am all for it because, I mean, we've seen it throughout the years. I mean, yes, we are probably more the guys that are going to be buying the T-shirts and the ball caps. But when you've got the
'Cause
kids
we're
going
old.
to the right, when you've got the kids going to the show, they're the ones buying the sunglasses. They're the ones buying the John Cena wristbands and headbands. I know when we've done shows, you've bought yourself a replica title ring.
Yes.
Yep. I've got replica belt sitting over there, like the old foam belts,
So-
you know.
So I am all for it because you have to appease all demographics, and it's just good business sense.
Dude, I will never forget the house show that you and I went to, OMD, in '94, mind you. I went there, and I went there with the fullest intentions that I was going to buy the WWF heavyweight title, the foam belt. And my mom was like, "Don't you want a shirt?" I'm like, "No, I want a belt. I want to be the champion," you know?
Right?
Right.
And then
Oh,
when
yeah.
they came the next year, my mom said the same thing. Are you going to buy a shirt? Nope, I'm going to buy the Intercontinental belt this time around.
Yep.
And I bought Pogs with it.
Ah,
too.
yes.
And the theme, and the theme music tape, because I wanted their theme, all the theme
Right.
music's on tape. So
I was this close to having an authentic WWE big gold replica when I did Mania 23, but the machine wouldn't read my Canadian bank card. And he's like, "No, I'll hold it for you. I got my money out of the ATM, which was 10 feet away. I got back and they sold it."
Oh, goodness.
And I was willing to drop the $400 cash right there. So instead, I walked out with a WrestleMania 23 Letterman's jacket.
yeah. But nowadays, when it comes to me buying the wrestling material, and I sort of wish I had the money for the last show because Juventud was selling masks, but I've become an 8x10 collector, and I kind of wish that I had the money for a Hoovy mask at for the last show. But that's
Right.
okay. Maybe when Hoovy comes back, I'll have the money then, you know?
Right.
It's very, very possible. Juventud Guerrera is amazing. The Juice is on the loose. Is a tour that happened with Canadian Wrestling's Elites coming through our area. And man, I tell you, they are absolutely fantastic. They are coming back, but we're going to be talking about that in another episode of Turnbuckle Talk, because right now it's time for our Showstopper segment. I know I'm cutting things a little bit short this week. I have work in the morning and I have other engagements that I need to attend as well tonight. So I apologize that we're having a little bit of a shorter show, I guess. I mean, we
Yeah.
probably
Well,
still
we're right on time with our showstopper segment, anyways.
Yeah. I feel that we are definitely. Our Showstopper segment this week, though, as we have talked about a little bit, as Basser informed us of as well, there is a new voice that is on, a returning voice.
Yeah.
That is on Monday Night Raw. And we take the time now to say thank you, Samantha. If you have not tuned in to Monday Night Raw last night or checked any of the dirt sheets, I guess, we are looking at the ring announcer, Samantha, has left the WWE. It is something that came as a shock and surprise to each and every one of us. But as the time has gone on for this day, we have learned that this is not a rash decision that was made in a moment's time, that this is something that was already talked about and planned for a little bit of time. Who has a little bit more on this?
Yeah, so first of all, it came out reported as a shock to the fans and the WWE, but Samantha Irvin was quick to shut that down and said no. She told the WWE months ago that she was planning on leaving. And I'm going to squash the rumors right now because Ricochet has also squashed these rumors too. She is not all elite. She's actually... the rumors are now circulating that she's actually leaving because she wants to focus more on her singing career, which by all means, go ahead and do that because she's a fantastic singer, I think.
She's all elite in my heart.
she is. But yeah, no, this was something she was planning on for months, and it has nothing to do with Ricochet's departure. Ricochet has also said that like she's her own woman. She does her own thing, you know. But yeah, we last night we had the returning Lillian Garcia come back, and we all thought last night that this was going to be a one-off appearance, but no, she is actually signed to come back full time.
Yes, and it was funny because the way they broke it to Lillian was she had just gone to the show to catch up backstage, and Hunter asked her, would you mind going out there and co-announcing with Samantha? Now, yes, it's my understanding that Samantha had been thinking about this and probably planted the bug, but she officially made the decision and made the official announcement yesterday. She is still on good terms with WWE. There is no animosity. But this, yes, WWE probably had the bug in their ear 6-8 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't blame Samantha for wanting to pursue outside interests. I mean, you can only take so much jet lag and traveling. I mean, you've gotten to do all of this stuff, travel the world multiple times, meet how many different interesting people, fans. So good for you, Samantha. Thank you for all you have done and all you have brought to our screens.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there is... I can confirm those rumors are true from a credible inside source. Samantha Irving's still doing a good job as a ring announcer. Yeah, I think she definitely, if she does decide to pursue that, which right now it's kind of hinting more towards she wants to do music. So good for her. I absolutely love that for her. Great.
I mean, who's to say that WWE still doesn't reach out to her for her to do a song for one of the wrestlers, you know, considering Def Rebel is no longer a part of WWE.
Right?
Yeah.
Or will be no longer a part of the WWE yet. I don't know if they've left yet or not. So
something else that has been going around with this, and I don't want to dwell on this, and I don't want to take away from Samantha, but people, calm yourself, okay? Lillian Garcia is human. Lillian Garcia can get nervous. Lillian Garcia can be excited. Lillian Garcia can misstep on words. Okay? Give me a break. Cut her some slack. Don't be an ass about things. be thankful and happy that we have Lillian Garcia to come in to this role.
Thank you. Fantastically said.
Yeah.
And again, I got to say this too. I mean, again, people, we know that Mr. Best has already said it. Pull your heads out of your ass. Don't blame Ricochet. It's not his fault. She wanted to pursue outside interests. This was of her own volition.
Mm-hmm.
Like any good partner, he is supporting her. So, I mean, I know I even speculated last night with Bubba Duke, maybe she's pregnant. Maybe there is that potential family aspect. Maybe that's something that they want to do as well, outside of her music, outside of his in-ring career. We don't know. All we can do is speculate. So don't blame wrestlers in other companies. I mean, look at Buddy Matthews and Rhea Ripley.
Right. Yeah, and I want to bunk further off of Carl's little tangent there too. Lillian's not the first ring announcer to screw up people. Howard Finkel has messed up a time or two. I remember Howard Finkel messing up quite a number of times. I mean, Samantha herself has messed up. Mike Rome has messed up. Alicia Taylor has messed up. David Penzer has messed up. It's a natural thing, you know?
Right. We are human. Mike McGurk messed up.
Speaking of Mikes, even Michael Buffer, who, by the way, was heartbroken about Samantha Irvin's departure and had, wished her well in what she did, and even said in his tweet that she is a great ring announcer. And if you get praise from Michael Buffer, who, let's face it, is the pinnacle of ring announcing in general, that's pretty friggin' high praise, I think,
Oh, yeah. For sure. I agree with Mr. Chris Parrish's comment. Lillian Garcia should be a Hall of Famer. I agree.
100%.
Yeah. Anything else that you guys have to add to this tonight?
Parrish has got something to add to this, actually. He's coming in. I might be covering your face up here, Carl, a little bit. Oh, he is coming in and saying Samantha Irvin came to WWE in a short time became an iconic part within WWE. And in life, there are times to tackle all goals. And she is doing that now. I hope she kicks ass. And even if she does want to go to AEW, who cares? People are allowed to make choices for their well-being. And the white noise that comes with it is just that noise. Well said, Mr. Parrish. Well said.
Thank you.
And we thank each and every one of you who has been here with us from the start to the finish. And for those of you that are new, we thank you and we welcome you back. And if you're unsure as to what we do or when we do it, here is all that information.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we get a variety stream with the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Friday we game again with Unleashed, the Jessica Wilde story at 7 p.m. Following the game, join us for the SmackDown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
And that is a week in Turnbuckle Studios. If you guys have the chance to, we would love for you to go and listen back to the shows on Good Pods. goodpods.com/podcast/turnbuckle-talk-264524, or you can just search for Turnbuckle Talk and look for that Bullet Club inspired logo. That there is a great place for you to find a whole bunch of different podcasts that are out there and available. And by leaving us a thumbs up on the video helps boost us up in the rankings of Good Pods. So please go and check us out on Good Pods and make sure you're leaving us a thumbs up each and every week. Northern Vixie, thank you so much for popping in. I apologize that you're coming in here at the end of the show, but we welcome you to come back anytime and check us out here. I see that you are checking us out over on our Twitch. Go ahead and give us a subscribe over there and turn the notification on, and then you'll get to see every time that we are going live. And we want to take this time to make sure that everybody is able to tell people where they can find them. Now, each one of these is from a link tree. I will preface with that. OMD.
Well, the people, you can find me on my link tree, linktr.ee/OMD show.
Mr. Best.
And you can find me on my link tree, linktr.ee/Chris_best83.
And it's the same thing for myself, except it's my name, Carl Carafel, KarlKarufel. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming by and taking a look at what we do here. Don't forget that we have a shop as well, carlcarafel.redbubble.com, where you can get yourself some Turnbuckle Studios merchandise. For Chris Best, for OMD, and myself, Carl Carafel. Remember, everyone, the world's a scary place. Take care of each other.